YouTube, what is good? It is your boy, Jody Joe. Welcome to Jody's Corner. Thank you guys so very much for being here. I am Jody Joe, the proprietor of this studio movement, jodyscorner.com, Jody's Corner podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and Apple Music right now. For $4.99, you could be a sponsor of Jody's Corner. This is one of the most important things that Jody's Corner is doing right now. $4.99, you get a special live stream at the end of every month, and I also have tiers coming next week. 4 tiers, tier 1 through 4, and the perks will be epic. Thank you guys for being here. This is going to be a spoiler-free review to The Lion King. I appreciate you all for watching. So let me go ahead and get right into it. Lion King is a remake of the 1990, 93, 92, animated version of Kimba the White Lion. You know, Disney stole this story from the East a long time ago. Kimba the White Lion is the true story about this. But hey, they said, "Freak it, we're Disney. We can make whatever we want." And Lion King is an icon. Lion King is up there with like my favorite Disney movie of all time, Beauty and the Beast. They're like neck and neck. So off top, as soon as I seen these trailers, this beautiful, fantastic looking CG, I mean, look at it. Yeah, sure, there's some issues that I have with Scar, a little bit of nitpicks here and there, but overall, this is The Lion King. This is something that I'm signed up for no matter what. I heard the music, I saw the characters, I seen Beyonce's cast, the Bayhive, stand up. I've been down with her since 1997, The Writing's on the Wall. But look, Lion King is out, it's here, I watched it. One of the most important questions that have come to me is, hey, yo, Jody, man, why are they doing these Disney live-action remakes all the time? What's up with that? And I always would say, hey, man, you know, the more the merrier, because if you look at Jon Favreau, he has a pretty good track record. Besides Cowboys and Aliens was kind of mad to me, Jon Favreau's a pretty darn good director. If you look at Jungle Book was fantastic, and I love the little twist that they put on Jungle Book. So I was naturally for the Disney live-action remakes because I had nothing but good experiences with them, you know what I'm saying? And I'm down for this because it's Lion King. It looked great. You got James Earl Jones back, and that's fantastic, man. I was really excited to see this film. And I'm going to admit, even when I sat down hearing all the bad reviews, people talking about this as issues with Uncanny Valley, and it's too realistic, and it's not enough this, not enough that, I still wanted to make up my own opinion because how could you mess up The Lion King? It's like one of the most safest stories that you could ever put of all time. It's The Lion King. How you mess up cute Simba? Look at him. He's cute down there. You can't mess that up. So here is the spoiler-free review. I feel like this movie will please the new generation because that's what this movie is for. We have to keep that in mind, that it's not for us adults who grew up in the 90s and the 80s, or even the ones who grew up in the 70s and came and saw this movie, the original, in their 30s and 20s. It's not for those people, and I'm included in that. This movie ain't for me. This is not my movie. This is for the new kids so they can see something of their own, something they can cherish and enjoy by themselves. It's their new version of The Lion King that we grew up on. And oh boy, do I feel bad for him because god dang it, this was a rehash. Freak my life. And it was a rehash not done right. The number one question that I had, that I kept getting, the number one question that keeps being, is thrown out there, right? The number one thing that people constantly hear is, Jody, was this movie needed? That's the question that I keep getting. And that's the question that you probably still have to this day. Was this movie needed? Like cash grab or nah type of thing. Well, I'm going to say right now that no, this movie was not needed. In fact, I think the release of this movie did more harm than it did good, because a lot of parents who have children who are between the ages of 3 and 13, I assume, would take their kids to come and see The Lion King. They're going to come and see this film. Because this movie is out, those children are going to have their first experience of The Lion King with this film. They will not know the 1990s version that we grew up to love and adore. They will not be able to see how the Stampede is executed correctly. They will never get to see Jeremy Irons' iconic performance as Scar, because Chiwetel Ejiofor was cast here to replace Jeremy Irons' Scar. Now, naturally, when I heard that Jeremy Irons said he didn't want no parts of Lion King if it wasn't going to be done right, and then he did not get cast for this movie, I instantly was scared. Like, why didn't Jeremy Irons come? You got Mufasa's voice? So let's start with the Jeremy Irons. Chiwetel Ejiofor. How did we do there? How did Chiwetel Ejiofor do with the iconic replacement of Jeremy Irons' Scar? Well, Chiwetel Ejiofor's voice for Scar, his performance for Scar, his singing for Scar, all in one. Wrap that all up in a little bundle and throw it right where it belongs in the dumpster, because it was trash. And I'm not trying to critique that man. I appreciate him taking the role and getting the check. But he has a connection in this film to a lot of different voice actors in this movie. There's one big narrative here, ladies and gentlemen. There's one big, huge circle of life, pun intended, connection that's involved with this movie. And I'm going to connect them all at the end of the film, at the end of this review, but I got to get to all the characters. Chiwetel Ejiofor, trash. The young Simba, I liked him. Good singing voice, good character voice, good job. Young Nala, good job. Sarabi by Alfre Woodard, good job. Rafiki, washed. No characteristic, not at all. Timon, probably one of the best singers in this movie, and that's sad. Pumbaa, fantastic, probably the best in the whole entire film. Pumbaa, Seth Rogen, amazing. Donald Glover, Simba. The singing, I think that Donald Glover was miscast to play Simba. I don't think he is as good a singer as people think he is. I do think he's as good of an actor as people think he is. I think he's probably even better than people give him credit for. But here with the duet with Beyonce, he was outclassed, and that's okay. Very few could hang with Bey. My problem with him is I just didn't like his voice for Simba. It didn't come across as manly. And I understand that Simba was a kind of a pushover in the original. I understand that he was very skeptical of coming into his own as being his own man. But once he became Simba, I know what I got to do. I got to go take Pride Rock back. This is what must be done. He went about them games. And when that time came for Donald Glover to capture that essence, it wasn't there. He didn't have it. The soft tone of his voice really rubbed me the wrong way, and it really didn't lend itself to the scenes that needed for him to be convincing, have nice bass in his voice and serious, and it didn't help the situation at all, in my opinion. So I think that Donald Glover was probably miscast in this movie. But I appreciate his effort, because I could tell he gave effort. And that word effort right there, that's something that you should probably keep in your mind right now. Let's go to Beyonce. I think Beyonce was the best in this movie when it came to voice acting. The way she delivered her lines, she delivered them with much passion, with much care. You could tell she had so much effort. She hit the notes where they needed to be as far as pitch. And she had a real depressing, sad, somber tone to her voice when needed. But with Beyonce singing, shockingly, I'm somewhat disappointed, especially with the duet "Can You Feel the Love Tonight." Now, the part where their voices didn't have harmony because Donald Glover's voice just doesn't sync up well with Beyonce's, and that's okay. But the problem that I had was Donald Glover's lack of singing ability compared to Beyonce's should not be corrected by making and muddling and auto-tuning and funneling somehow Beyonce's voice, because I heard it. She didn't. There was a couple of notes where she didn't even sound like Beyonce. I'm like, what is going on here? They altered Beyonce's voice in some of the singing to make the songs, to make their voices sound more in keel. That's just where it is. I didn't like that, but Beyonce had a great performance in my opinion. The CGI was magnifique. People saying that the CGI didn't look right, I don't understand where they're coming from. This is top-notch grade A CGI. It is truly a sight to see. You really got to see it to appreciate it. It is absolutely fantastic. Just like the cast is absolutely fantastic as far as popularity and stuff like that. So, with all that said, and I think that pretty much takes care of all of the actors in this film, right? I hope I'm not leaving. Zazu. Zazu in this movie was annoying. And this is where I understand where the photorealism comes into play. So, a lot of people have issues with his, not just his, but many others. His beak is a problem for me. The fact that he has eyes on each side of his head, so he can't, the characters cannot emote. They cannot show the emotion that was shown in the cartoon. The big glaring eyes, the big smiles. When they're talking, it just doesn't sync well. I mean, when they were singing I Just Can't Wait to Be King, and then the last riff where young Simba and young Nala were like, just can't wait to be king. And they're just sitting there with the E. Just seeing them derpy lips and them derpy teeth and that just open mouth where there's no, you just don't see the passion come. You can't, because they're realistic looking animals and there wasn't enough. We don't want, even in the Jungle Book, Baloo had photorealistic look. They all did. Bagheera, let's use him even more. Bagheera had a very photorealistic look. He looked like a real freaking jaguar, panther, whatever you want to call him. He looked real, but you could see fear in his eyes. He would always, Mowgli. He would emote. You would see it in the face. They would animate the face to make him look shocked or scared or hurt. This is not here. Jon Favreau took an L when it comes to capturing the heart and soul of what Lion King is. Yes, this is a very soulless film. This is the Lion King you knew and loved, stripped all of its gut, heart, passion, blood, sweat, and tears out, and just put it on screen for visual glory. That's all this is. This is a very, very, very large bowl of Kix cereal. I do not like Kix cereal, but it's a very big bowl of it, so it'll get you full. I'd much rather have a small bowl of Cookie Crisp or Honey Bunches of Oats or Lucky Charms. A very delicious cereal. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a lot of nothing. You understand what I'm saying? You feel where I'm coming from? That's what this is to me. It's hollow. It's a mother who was abused as a child and grows up to be a terrible mother because she was a bad mother. Her mother was a bad mother. It's just a cycle of bad mothering. Motherhood is just bad. It's just empty, barren. Mother can't love. It's like one of those type of situations. And that's what this is. This is a soulless, heartless, no love having movie. And it's mediocre as heck. I got to get to the main guy, Mufasa. James Earl Jones has reprised his role. We got him back, y'all. Now I got to say that James Earl Jones, he's older now. And I completely understand that actors, singers, everybody's voice changes. My voice will be different in 10 years. It'll be different in 30 after that. And if I'm alive, 50 after that. And I get that. That is happening here to James Earl Jones. But there's something else going on with the voice acting in this film. And I blame it on one person. That one person is Jon Favreau. This is the biggest L that Jon Favreau is going to take in his career, in my opinion. Because you sat up and let the number one circle of life issue come. And what is the one thing I said that connects, that involves all these characters around this whole entire film? The number one problem with The Lion King is, drum roll, nobody. Let me take Beyonce out. I'm going to take Seth Rogen out now. I'm going to even take Timon out. And I'm going to even take Donald Glover out this time, because he was just miscast. But outside of them, everybody else in the film, nobody gave a crap about their lines. It's almost as if they didn't watch Lion King as a child. It's almost as if they never seen the film. It baffles my mind. The complete lack of effort behind their microphones that you could just feel and sense oozing out their characters that just depresses and just makes you look like, what? Why? That's weak. They just, lines fall flat where they should flourish. Scenes linger where they shouldn't. Passion is gone where it should be present and relevant. It's terrible. And this is why it's Jon Favreau's fault. He's the director of this. You ain't directing CGI. Those are nerds behind computers. Your job is to make sure that them voices sound good. And if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong. But since Jon Favreau's the director and he's the one hearing those lines come out and that shit ain't right, you should have said cut. Look, no, Donald. James, I know you're an icon. I know you're the legendary voice, but can you give me a little bit more here? And James Earl Jones is the most guilty of this, guys. It's not a lack that he doesn't have the voice anymore because it showed sometime in this film. He had no effort. I could see James Earl Jones coming here with his pants pulled up to his nipples, two chauffeurs wheeling him in a walker with a robe on, some glasses, a cane. He sits down in the chair. Is this okay? Yeah, that's good, James. Okay. James, yeah. Can you not make your old man noise in the mic? Sure. Action. Simba, we are part of the great circle of life. See, we eat the antelope, and the antelope eat the grass. And when we die, we become the grass. So, we're all part of the great circle of life. That's how it is. I got to teach my son a lesson. God dang it. That shit way off, bruh. And James Earl Jones, you're guilty of this, man. I just feel like you were lazy cashing a check. Yeah, like, all right, sure, I'll take the money. And you just didn't care, man. And that's really the sad part. You just didn't have it in this film. I can't believe I want to say this. James Earl Jones was the biggest disappointment in this film as Mufasa. Oh, I'm sorry. I said it. James Earl Jones is the biggest disappointment right next to Scar. The two most iconic characters in all of Lion King were whack, y'all. They sucked. Mufasa sucked. Scar sucked, man. God dang, man, freak. And Jon Favreau, you take a huge L for this. And this is disappointing, man. Hey, look, parents out there, you took your kids to see this, fine. If you haven't, I still could see you. Show them the animated version first. Then take them to see this. Here, son. Oh, that was good. Did you like the cartoon? Yay! Well, there's the movie's out right now. Really? With real animals. Let's go! Then take them to go see it and see what they say. But until then, The Lion King is a definite cash grab from Disney. They need to slow down, pump their brakes. This is a very unimaginative movie and one of the most imaginative movies ever made by somebody in the Middle East, stolen by Disney. Kimba the White Lion, one of the greatest stories ever told. But Lion King comes up runner-up second for the animated for stealing it. But hey, I love the Lion King. I just don't love this Lion King. One of the most imaginative stories that just didn't work from voice actors that just didn't give a freak. And it's sad, and it's sad, and it's sad. I give the Lion King the grade that it deserves, a C-. Mediocre. And Morton Joe status, baby. Thank you guys so very much for watching Jordy's Corner. Become a sponsor if you like the real content for $4.99 a month. You can get special perks as in icons and live streams, icons in the comment section so you stand out. And at the end, last Thursday of every month, you get a special live stream, just me and you, sponsors. Tiers are coming soon. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Put your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think, all right? That's it for me. I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out this thing, man. Deuces.